Me either, come to think of it. Farewell! Ha! Okay. So this is a work in progress. I just finished it like 2 minutes ago. So it doesn't have a title, believe it or not. Okay, so. The girl on Melville Street lives on daydreams. She a princess, her father a knight, her room a castle. She stares blankly in school, lost in inner sight. The teacher scolds the girl. She doesn't know the girl lives on daydreams to avoid night terrors. The sun has set, the magic potion drunk, the curse cued. Giant feet stumble through a door, stomp to another door. Clumsy claws strangle glass until they draw blood. A slur of syllables crescendo to a roar. The girl puts on her butterfly feet, flits silently down the hallway, hoping the red eyes and the red face fix their red rage elsewhere, hoping she can make it to the safety of her castle with its impenetrable door. The girl sees the back of the monster as she runs past the kitchen entrance to lock herself in her room. Though she understands there is no magic curse, she doesn't know where her dad leaves his shining armor at night.
And I don't want to embarrass her, but I want you all to help me congratulate her because she's just graduated from college. I have such admiration for you. I truly do. Welcome home to Vancouver.
Thank you.
Well, this is really exciting because it's been a long time since Carter's been here with us. However, he was knocking us dead at cover to cover for Ghost Town, and he's back here, Eng's Gallery, all the way from
Oregon City.
Oregon City. That's a drive to get here. Carter Crockett. Let's welcome him back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It might need to raise up just a little bit.
Yep, he's tall. And we're going like this.
Okie dokie.
You gonna take the mic off, or you want?
That's all right. I'll just do it like that.
Is that gonna work? All right.
I want to start with my favorite word. It is Gyhooya. Gyhooya. It's the acronym for get your head out of your ass. Okay. All these naked bodies. We got to do poems about sex.
Okay, good.
This is called A Helping Hand. She said, I've got this handled, so I handed it to her. She said it isn't very big. I said, I do concur. She said, I'll take it slowly. I said, you do as you must. She said, I always do. You'll just have to show some trust. She said it has potential. I said, thank you very much. She said it's growing nicely. I said, it likes your touch. She said, I'd like to kiss it. I said, I wish you would. She said, tell me, do you like it? I said, oh yeah, that feels good. I said, I like your rhythm. She said, let's increase the pace. I said, you're not the least concerned it might blow up in your face. She said, what's there to worry? After all, that's what you planned as the damn thing exploded right there in her hand. Okay, let's flip the coin over. This is called A Taste of Honey. She said that she has sweet meat. I said, I'll bet that's true. She asked me, do you want a taste? I said, you know I do. She said, it's going to cost you. I said, I knew it would. She said, are you prepared to pay? I said, it better be that good. She said, it's just a sample. I said, samples should be free. She said, I'll charge you double. I said, you're kidding me. She said, have a lick and tell me what you think. I said, it looks delicious, so luscious and so pink. She said, don't be shy. Have yourself a taste. Let the flavor linger and don't be in a haste. I said, it tastes like honey. She said, eat your fill. Don't worry about the cost. I'll delete the bill. I said, then I might eat it all. She said, I bet you can't. I had another lick and she began to pant. I said, I'm rather hungry. This could take a while. She said, you can take all day, and said it with a smile. I gotta do, it's been probably over a year since I've been here, so just bring up something from the past. This is based on the question, if you could invite anybody from history to dinner, who would it be? It's called Party of Six. I've invited 5 to dinner. What a party it will be. Jesus, he will say the grace to start the festivity. We will have roast buffalo in honor of Sitting Bull and black-eyed peas for Satchel Paige. We'll feast until we're full. Ben Franklin, he will bring the beer, and Willie will bring the weed. And we will talk and laugh and lie. What a splendid time indeed. And I will sing my songs as Willie plays guitar. We'll smoke from Sitting Bull's pipe and drink from a mason jar. Satchel will teach Jesus to throw a knuckleball. And Jesus will preach brotherhood and fellowship for all. Sitting Bull will tell a tale of a battle long ago. We will nod and shake his hand and tell him, way to go. Willie will tell Franklin to go fly a kite. He's standing out in my backyard with lightning in the night. Jesus will bless the wine and Willie will bless the weed. And Satchel will talk about the babe, as Sitting Bull and I agreed. Satchel will talk about the monarchs, the Crawfords, and the... I lost it. Satchel will... Shit. All right. Satchel will talk about the monarchs, the Crawfords, and the Grays. Willie and I will smoke a bowl and say those were the days. Willie will talk politics. Sitting Bull will talk of war. Jesus will ask forgiveness. And hey, says, I'm losing it. And Willie's on the floor. Franklin will hug Sitting Bull and tell him that he's sad. And Jesus, he will drink his wine and talk about his dad. Maybe I should write these down. Okay, was it you that said bring 4? Okay, bring 4 and talk about God last.
That was a metaphor, though.
So this is called God's migraine. God awoke and wondered who'd call on him today and who'd request his guidance to solve another fray. He wished for a vacation so he could clear his head and wondered if the world would end if he just stayed in bed. He said, I've had enough, I can't take it anymore. All their constant bickering is making my head sore. He rolled himself a smoke and poured himself a drink and retired to his commode where he could sit and think. He said, I'm out of answers, I've nothing more to say, but their prayers keep arriving, millions more each day. I'm asked to bless the oppressor, I'm asked to bless the oppressed. Why can't they take some Valium and give it all a rest? He thought about the hungry, he thought about the poor, he thought about the wealthy, how they only lusted more. He said, I've got a migraine, it's just that kind of day. And then he crushed his smoke and flushed his cares away. Thank you, I am not Carter Crockett, he is the poet within me.
Really great to have you back. Loved it. We are going to hear from Miss Morgan Hutchinson. Morgan, come on.
It is.
I know. Let's see.
That's about right, yeah. So my first one is inspired by David Nelson and dedicated to Erica Marchbank, so thank you both. It's called Pea Cats Pee. Pea cats pee while they wish they were hunting mice instead. It's 535, right? Did I get that right? Okay. So that was inspired by both of you, so thank you. Pea cats pee.
Bring on the piece.
So my next, So my next poems are not my poems, in fact. A gentleman came into the shop in which I am the co-owner of, High End Marketplace down the road. Shameless plug, 19th and Broadway. This gentleman came in and brought flyers of his poems, and he said that this is the only way that he shares them. I of course, naturally invited him to come to the reading, and he said, I don't go to readings. And I said, okay, well, that's all right. Is it okay if I share one of your poems or a couple? And he said, absolutely, you do what you want with them. So if you want to come pick one up, feel free. There's a whole stack, and it's great work. So I don't remember his name either. So he's a mysterious, anonymous poet here in Vancouver that also comes from New York. On cool nights, we sit facing radiating TV glow, warming ourselves. After dusty days, riding a reefer cloud, rounding up dreams, lost on trail. Flushed from shade, the shadow of denying humans, obscuring horizon. I ate the roach of your desire, last resined portion from the joint you rolled from yourself and passed to me, lips to lips, hand to hand, fingers to fingers, to sit in dreams of you, of me, of something else randomly caught about us, begging for wisdom living. The apartment musically cockroaches and mice, floor covered with garbagey shirts, body odor and work, stench of blanket and sheets anointed with love juices, covered in pot ashes, with joint going out in ashtray while writing this. The hot chocolate gone warm, bottom thickened with my sweat, a discomfort. Deodorant only disguises a shifty, expectant shiver, a glance at the fright. We're getting careless and messy. The floors are cluttered with piled clothes. This includes towels from weeks and pants from 2 months ago. Alongside bed is paper, tea stains, and roaches from reefer, with ashes and grass mingling on the long ago. Washed nor polished floor, which books cover by shelves or bare-assed, in a purposeful mood for exploring. Most skimmed through, this the latent reality, qualms of solitude.
Our next reader tonight has her poem on the buses, and she was taken on a bus ride by Mr. Scott Hewitt, who is a writer for the Columbia, and they had a great time. She talked to writers and had lots of sort of interesting things happen along the way, and it sounded like it was a really fun interview for you. And so welcome her, Erin Iwata. Erin, come on up.
We're good. This reading actually has a very, not this reading right now, like this event has a strange way of lining up with events in my life. And it seems like every time I'm either preparing to read or going to read, something very big in the chapter that I'm going through right now happens. So I always come a little bit raw, but these poems aren't necessarily. These poems are from the work, and I'm really grateful for being able to work on last Saturday, and so these are kind of new poems. This one is called She Poem. Okay. She is dust of Sagittarius, flying on the back of a slender black filly. The desert beckons, then the mountain, then the sea. She is caught roaming between them all. She is constant motion. She doesn't mind. She rests when no one is watching, grazing under dense cedar, snapping up grasses between rocks on high. She carries them with her, their worry, their emotions, bound up in her gut. If she comes too close, their bleeding need will catch her. Nay, they have caught her before. Again and again she has been bridled. Now she seeks her strong bow among a trail of broken arrows. This is her quest, a quest of motion and meaning. She is dust of Sagittarius. This is called What is Evil? When you nodded empathetically, agreeing with a stranger about the last film that played at the Penny Theater, when you knew he was wrong. It was not Brad Pitt, but Christian Bale. But you didn't want to embarrass him, so you agreed. When you let the manic woman break into your bedroom because your bleeding heart compassion couldn't turn her away even though it was your daughter's nap time. You were fairly certain the rapid talk of house fire would be lost in your wide-eyed child's memory. When you gave sleep to the words of a cranky patron, when you overcompensated when others fell short, when you complained about your weary burden but continued anyway, that was evil. This I learned, to bend and mold myself to the shape of least resistance, beckon to the loudest voice in the room, convinced I could be anything they needed. I teach my sons the same, scolding them for their nose, couching falsehood in flattery, praising politeness over listening internally. This may be the greatest evil of all, down-passing duplicity and a certain weakness hidden in the ego-stroking strength of servanthood. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. And yeah, in case you didn't know, we've got 10 poems by 10 Clark County poets on the C-Tram buses through the end of June. And yeah, Tony and I were fortunate enough to be the people who got to read all the poems and then select the winners of the contest. So there are 166 buses in the system and 2 poems on each. So we're super proud about that. And some people may not know, because it hasn't really been announced, that the plan is to have student poetry from the Poets in the Schools program that I started here in Clark County to go on the buses starting in July. So we have a commitment from C-Tran to have poems on the buses through the end of this year, no matter what. So. And you know, I want to thank Arts of Clark County and the Community Foundation and everybody in the community who has supported this. The Columbian, Scott Hewitt and the Columbian in general have been really good, and we're really happy about it. You might have noticed that there's this weird little green thing in the room when we do Ghost Town. It kind of looks like an alien or something like that. This is for donations for Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. As long as I'm any part of it, Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic will be a free event. That's always going to be the case. What we learned was when we want to bring, you know, nationally known poets like David Meltzer here, that costs money, and that when we asked the community for money, they came forward and did that. We have a long-term goal of being able to pay the features at some point, and you know, basically done the reading for 12 years without a budget. So if you'd like to contribute something, we'd appreciate it. You should also know that if you just drop by Angst and would like to write a check, as long as you let Leah know that it's for this fund, she has graciously said that she will collect funds for us for people who want to support Ghost Town and the other activities that we're doing in the community. So I just thought I'd let you know, because we don't mention it very much. Also, Erin was nice enough to mention the work, which is a workshop that I do on the second Saturday of the month every month. And we've been doing pretty well with that. We've been getting about half a dozen people. There was a long time where, you know, if I got 2, I was happy that 2 people showed up to do it, and now we're getting about 6 every time, and sometimes a few more. I do like sort of high-speed workshops where you're there for 2.5 hours. I have a goal of making sure that everybody gets to work on at least 4 pieces. Sometimes we get to 5 pieces. And that just comes from being in workshops myself and knowing that sometimes you come out of it and feel like, well, I didn't really get a lot of writing done. So we try to get, you know, we go fast, but we try to get you with 4 beginnings of poems by the time you leave. So thank you for mentioning it, Erin. I appreciate that. And so now, actually, we have a couple in a row who have actually come to that workshop as well, and we're always happy to see them here. And the first of the 2, Desiree. Come on up, Desiree.
So this actually came out of the work, which every time I go, I end up bringing a poem that is sort of generated in that. So thank you for that. The American landscape. He uses words like generation, rights, take back what's ours. He thinks that standing up for your beliefs is a noble act. He doesn't care how you do it, like Gandhi or Malcolm, just make the stand. Unless you're native, then it's an old song and dance. Otherwise, fight the good fight. Unless you're black, then he wants you to stay unarmed, don't resist, sit down and be quiet. His granddaddy provided, his father provided, he should be able to provide. The dirt under his nails frames his heart, his work is honest, his gun is clean. He has rights too. Early morning coffee warms his cracked, hard-working hands. He is the first to arrive. She uses her mother's words to whisper to the man about the dirty ways of stealing bodies, raping earth, ejecting filth on turtles' back, and burning down the sky. She spits when they say she has it good. She spits when they say she shouldn't want more. She spits when they yell, "Your people gave up the land years ago." She takes her stand, seeing them clearly through smudged glass. Her sister face down in dirt, arms pressed back, the way you hold wings to keep a bird from flying. She sings her mother's song as the splintered fence fades to nothing in the rearview mirror. The mob tightens on the courthouse steps, the rancher's sign, white against his jacket. "This land is ours," printed in black. So the second and final poem I have tonight, I brought for my husband because tonight is our 10th anniversary, and after 10 years, he still listens to me. So I thought I'd bring something that he would actually enjoy listening to. Blackened is the end, winter it will not send. Throwing you all you see into obscurity, death of Mother Earth, never a rebirth, evolution's end, never will it mend, never. Fire, to begin whipping dance of the dead, blackened is the end. To begin whipping dance of the dead, color our world blackened. Blistering of earth, terminate its worth, deadly nicotine kills what might have been. Callous, frigid chill, nothing left to kill. Never seen before, breathing, nevermore, never. Fire, to begin whipping dance of the dead, blackened is the end. To begin whipping dance of the dead, color our world blackened. Opposition, contradiction, premonition, compromise. Agitation, violation, mutilation, planet dies. Darkest color, blistered earth, true death of life. Termination, expiration, cancellation, human race. Expectation, liberation, population, lay to waste. See our mother put to death, see our mother die. Smoldering decay, take her breath away. Millions of our years in minutes disappears. Darkening in vain, decadence remains. All is said and done, never is the sun, never. Fire, to begin whipping dance of the dead, blackened is the end. To begin whipping dance of the dead, color our world blackened. That's Blackened by Metallica. Thanks.
I love that. I haven't checked to see if it's on YouTube, but Steve Allen used to do a thing where he would read pop songs like they were poems. The one that I remember really well is he read Hot Stuff by Donna Summer. So if you can, yeah, and it's not easy to do. It's not easy to just read it straight like a poem. So, you know, try it sometime. And if any of you want to try it here, I think it's a lot of fun. Thank you for that, Desiree. And now we're going to hear from Edie. Come on down, Edie.
Woo!
You guys are so fucking cute. I love you. Happy anniversary. I have an announcement first. Desiree and I are going to be reading at the end of this month. We were part of a workshop with Lydia Yudnovich, and so a bunch of us are getting together and we're doing this reading on Saturday, January 30th. Oh my God, that's wishful thinking, huh? June? Oh my God. Anyway, it's from 7 to 10 at the American Legion Post 134 on Northeast Alberta. They haven't made a Facebook invite yet, but as soon as they do, some of you are on Facebook and with me and I'll shoot it out to you. Okay. I wrote this one for the anniversary of Mount St. Helens, but that was a while ago. But Harry and Helen. Turmoil within her, pressure cooker swells, purges darkness and fire, settles down to newly defined glory. His cabin, his mountain, an old man who refused to leave her, who refused to die, simply transformed, billowed up to the heavens within her ash. Oops. Writer's Prayer. Create in me, O Muse, a well of the divine, words lyrical, poetry magical. Let me speak, scream, rage, that I may be curator of truth and not leave my true self bound by the constraints of others' discomfort. What goes up does not always come down. The rabbit hole shifts, magical perceptions, the kaleidoscope dream takes shape, forms itself on the page. The writer is free, the reader just getting started. Just painted. So many samples at the dime store counter. Mascara, rouge, lipstick, shadow, eyeliner. Ma says I look like a floozy. Floozies, I think, must be beautiful. Thank you.
When she was talking about how the last one was a short one, it reminded me that when I was speaking to Ellis, who you heard earlier, and he was telling me about what he was planning to read, he said that he had 3 poems, but the third one was lightning fast. And I said, if you can already be hustling like that at 8, you know what I'm saying? That just blew my mind. And I hope he comes back, and I hope his dad comes back too, because his dad had poems, but check it out, classy guy. Didn't read any, so maybe we'll give him a shot next time. Okay, and next we're going to hear from Melody. Come on down, Melody.
Wow, if that 8-year-old isn't inspiration, I don't know what is. Okay, 2 just real short ones. First one is by me, second one is from a website. They didn't list the author, which is weird, but the copyright is Apurva. It's familyfriendpoems.com. Okay, so the first one is I love you. You've been quiet lately. You haven't said a word. I know I shouldn't think of you, but what is there for me to do? Hang the rules, hang society, and all the shackles of propriety. Let me be free to be anything I want to be, and let me be free to say anything I want to say. I love you. There, I've said it. I found this poem shortly after I wrote this one, and I thought it complemented it really well. It's called I Imagine. I imagine. When I do, I can only think of you, how your smile spreads to your eyes. making me want to live in the moment forever. I imagine that we walk on paths unknown to us, filled with fear and excitement, winding with happiness that is constant. I imagine that we see the dawn bursting with resplendent hues and birds soaring in the sky, inviting us to hum along. I imagine that we break the rules, do things our own way, travel the world to leave our traces. I imagine a cold winter night in your arms, watching the snow, sitting at the window. I imagine the story of us has no end or beginning, but continues like the universe. I imagine I could fill your heart with all my love, so that we know a love mysterious to this world. I imagine and wonder, what would you imagine with a smile extending to my eyes?
Before I read a few to say goodnight, I just want to let you know about a couple of things. One is that we have the flyer for next month's reading on the bar back there, as well as information about a lot of different literary things that are going on. There's also, along with the slips for the people that might want to volunteer for National Unpublished Writers Day, there's a clipboard where you can give us your email if you'd like to receive once a month email newsletter about poetry events in Portland and Vancouver. So if you think you'd like to find out about that's how I communicate about this event and other things that I'm doing and anything that I can find. Then there's also a Facebook group called PNW Poets. You don't have to be my friend on Facebook to be part of it. You just have to request to be a part of the group. And that's for anybody in Washington or Oregon who wants to share information about workshops and readings and things like that. I also wanted to mention that I've read at Post 134 where Desiree and Edie are going to read, and that place is great. And the guy Sean Davis, who's organizing a lot of the readers there, is great. So get on Facebook and look for anything happening at 134, but start with the two of them because that's going to be cool. Yeah, there's a bar inside, there's a pool table, there's bingo.
Well, the bar's the important part.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Yes, it's a good spot. I'm glad that it's happening there, and I think he's got the right idea about how to handle things too. I know what I'm doing, just have to decide on the order here. Hold on a second. Okay. Quantum Hawk flight patterns. Your moment with the conch, others will suffer, so that you may impart words inadequate, phrases stale, stacked, first-time thresher, long-time cop. With your discards, my tired philosophies I shall sop, shave them down, teach them to speak, better brace yourself for one intense week. Privileged to have found myself ground, bound, helplessly agape, in awe of your atmospheric swim, algebra outlining simple and complex equation in martyr lantern, syntax loop, gaze improve, interrupt, mind skies. Frozen loom cannot find sanctuary outside the coop. Yeah. So when you do the workshops, like, maybe this seems obvious, I don't know, but sometimes I write as other people are writing and sometimes I don't. But there was an exercise where we were talking about first thought, best thought, which was Ginsberg's guru, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, said, let's try this first thought, best thought. And so it's like trying to turn off the inner editor and just see what happens. And so you allow some weird shit to happen and some silly shit. That's what I was trying to do. Ghost Town, USA. October 8, 2015. Perpetual pink swirls around little dreamer, prancing, spinning joyfully in early autumn sun. 10-10-15, this one's for Tony. Three hawks circle the rooftops in early autumn pirouette. Off-kilter symmetry underlined by the insistent stridency of their call. Greeting or warning, lesson or acknowledgement. Hypnagogic phosphine flash, momentary respite from this insatiable hunger. And I actually saw those hawks like right over these buildings that are right outside across the street. So whenever I see birds flying, I think of Tony because she really helped me to appreciate birds. She loves them. 10-27-15. Fort Vancouver in fourth plane. I wanted to follow this guy around with the tape recorder, but this was what I was able to get. Need to start smiling out here. I've done hustled out on these streets, but I take care of my people. Life is important. Don't let nobody take your joy. Regulate and stop the hate. Yeah. I like that dude. It seemed like there was a slight possibility he might be a danger to himself or others, but I liked what he had to say. Wishes run deep.
In a Nerf bodysuit.
Yeah. Many, 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 many loves coupled with multiple approaches. Enough energy, enough love to spread around. Maple leaf dive, why don't you spiral down on top of me? Bring me something new, give me something too. Unfelt, unseen, only for me. This desire percussive as the rush of this blood through these veins. Your presence here makes it difficult to think or breathe. No need to possess, just a little taste will do. This banging colors my patience, absent, missing, so delicious that she cannot stop herself from caressing her lower back or taking a strand of hair. Not there yet, but I'm watching. I'll follow your lead. This ain't your movie, it's our memory. Belongs to your moms as much as your unborn daughters. Each of you perfect, excruciatingly beautiful in your own way. Each an exquisite reminder of womanhood's perpetual blossoming, her endless font of knowledge and tenderness and nourishment freely offered. Navigation of the unexpected clit cannot be separated from the context in which clit bearer and clit observer were introduced. Many stories absent this hidden Anglo-Saxon abbreviation nonetheless communicate its interminable neglect. Funny thing about life is you can go days without thinking about pussy lips, then suddenly find yourself alone with a beautiful stranger pulling her skirt up to show it to you. Behave and she might even shove it into your mouth. And you think to yourself, I'm one lucky son of a bitch, or I devote myself to you, goddess, or I wish the guys could see me now. Thank you. Just a little poem for the ladies. Thank you so much to Nathan Tompkins and David Nelson for being our features tonight. That was great. Thank you to Leah and everybody next door at Niche for helping out. Make sure that you settle up your bill before you go. Thank you to my host and wife and partner in Truth and Beauty, Tony Partington, Tony Lumbrazo Luna now. And thank you. We'll see you next time. See you in February.